Okay, so if you're playing Abyss, you want to go B. This is the lineup for everything for Viper. So you kind of just look at the map, kind of line it up at the corner of the site there. Launch that.
Let's choke them.
Throw your wall up, come over to this box or the cloud. Look at the bottom of the thing there. Little symbol. Put that up. And just plant right here in the corner of the site. Then you run back here for the molly. Go to this little circle on the wall here and look at the rooftop. There's like these rectangles. Aim at the roof, like the end of the second rectangle. And then easy peasy. It's also a good lineup too, just because like after the molly, if it doesn't work or it's too early to they tap it or whatever, you can just kind of peek it pretty simply. So yeah. Okay, so I showed you guys my B lineup. Now I'm going to show you my lineup for A. So for the wall, I walk up to this pillar right here, right by the barrier. And then using the mini-map again, I line up with like the left side of the A on site. And then for the orb, the cloud orb, there's this box right here that I like to line up with. There's another little window, and I use like the window to line up. So just top, like the first, like the gold thing at the top, the gold thing. Lined up with the window. That's gonna get it right on Jin here. And then paired with the wall, there's really almost nowhere they can see you from, maybe a little bit there, but and you can kind of plant wherever. I have some lineups for the site, but I feel like the site's pretty open, so you don't really need the lineups. But if you want the lineup, again, back to the box, there's this little thing that extends out. And then there's this lineup here. So just line up with the part that extends out. And then the line at the top, the yellow line. And boom. But like I said, this site's pretty open. I feel like wherever spike's planted, you can kind of just shoot it. If it's backside, you can just bounce it off the wall and get it there. So you don't need the lineup, but if you just feel like being cool and like, oh, I know lineups, and like you can use that lineup. So if you don't like that orb, I feel the cloud, I feel like that's probably the best spot. But if you want to completely like scare them out of heaven or make them feel like they have to locate, then you can just literally bounce it off the wall and just land it in heaven. That'll take care of everything. And then if you want to plant spike on pipes here, just plant it in a different spot or whatever. I have another molly lineup. So again, back to the box, and then there's like a corner here with like where the yellow meets the thing that pokes out. So you just shoot the molly there, bounce off that, lands right on spike, right on pipes. And it covers like all the pipes too. So between the two mollies, you can really cover the entire site with the lineups. So yeah. Okay, so now that I showed my attacking lineups, I'm going to show my defensive lineups. So for the cloud, I like to get up here in the corner, and then there are these like indentations here, and I just go for the middle one, and then aim at the top there, like the gold bar. That'll get it there. And then for the wall, there are a few different ones that you can do. It kind of just depends on where you want to play. If you want to play up on Jin, then I like just walking up here and just kind of lining up at the corner. And this kind of gives you a little bit of a one-way. You can kind of like see through, and you can see them pretty well, pretty easily. So if you want to play on Jin, then I think this is the wall that you want to do. But you can also play on site with the orb in the same spot. I think is the best. But you can kind of like peek around your wall, but I don't really think this wall is that good for that, personally. So if you wanted to do that, then I'll just kind of line up, kind of in the same spot. Just line up with like this, just line the wall up with that. And then also if you wanted to play Heaven, then this orb is really good for Heaven too. I'll just go corner to corner for the wall. And I think that kind of like forces the enemy to feel like they can go this way. Yeah, you can get easy shots. And then you can also, with the other wall, I mean, it's not bad with this one, but you can also kind of, if they cross through and don't push to you, then you can see through pretty easily if they try to plant. This wall, not so much, but still a little bit every once in a while. But I do think that the corner-to-corner wall is the best for Heaven. And then for defensive mollies, you know, if you have to like fall back, your team's not here yet, there's something you can do. So come back here, line up with Jin, then bank it off the wall. Then this covers most of this area here. There are a few spots, obviously. That one over there could be a big issue. So if you want to get that spot, you just come back here and line up with the door, and then put your bottom of the crosshair at the top of this triangle up here. That'll spank down and cover that area entirely. But I feel like you don't really like need lineups, honestly. Like I feel like the site's pretty open and pretty easy to cover and kind of like work your magic. But if you want those lineups, then you got them. So now for B, for some defensive lineups for Viper, I think the best wall is just right at the barrier. And then for the Cloud, there are a couple options. One that's really good that I like a lot is there's like this dot on the wall here. So if you just get that in like the center of the walkway, kind of line that up and throw the Cloud there, then you got that. It's pretty good for window, and then block their sight if they're trying to push up. What I really like about this bubble is that if your teammates are on site and you kind of want to like force the enemy to go this way, you can put the bubble up, and then they're gonna come this way and your teammate's just waiting for them. But if you just have the wall here, then no one knows what's happening. So with the Cloud there, and your teammate has free line of sight, it's pretty useful, I think. And then there's another Cloud that I like, again, the wall right at the barrier. And then for this Cloud bubble, honestly just like right up here, it's like on that triangle more or less. I feel like this gives you a pretty good advantage for if they're pushing on either side, over here on danger or on main. I think it's a pretty good bubble that helps a lot up here. And then there's also a molly. Again, I feel like you don't really need like lineups for this site, at least not on the defensive end, because I feel like wherever you're playing you can really get a molly anywhere easily. But if you're playing like far back, or if you fall back waiting for your team to rotate and they're trying to plant like on the other side of Jin over there, then I think this is probably the best one. You just line up, there's like this piece of moss or whatever hanging down. Use the molly right there, and it lands right over here and covers this entire area. And then anywhere else, if they're planning anywhere, you can get a molly there easily as well. So I think that's the best molly for B. So one thing that I realized was that for attacking on B, I only gave the one molly lineup for the one plant spot. I realized that's not really that practical, because like it's gonna be hard to plant in that same spot round after round. So there's a different one that I found. There's this little marker underneath where the ult orb is, and if you just go here and kind of line up with this in the center and then aim at the top of this triangle, very top, then this molly's gonna go on the far side of site, cover most of the area over here. So if the enemy team starts catching on, you can't plant up here anymore, then have your team go over here and you still got a molly lineup for it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and be sure to let me know how these lineups work out.